Welcome back to a Windy City They Tan Watch, the channel where truth meets freedom, right here in the heart of Chicago. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated with our latest investigations, interviews, and insights. Your support fuels our fight for freedom and truth. So, let's dive into today's journey, armed with knowledge and the relentless spirit of the Windy City.
Howdy folks, WindyCityThetanWatch here. It is Monday afternoon. It's Earth Day, so please take care of the Earth today. We're in the alley behind. I don't think there's any activity down there. We'll walk down a little bit. I don't have much time, so I'm just here on a late lunch. We'll see if we can see any activity. I do want to talk a little bit about yesterday. So yesterday, there was a lot of protesters out here, and the church was really, really quiet. We didn't see a lot of people going in and out of the door. We didn't see anybody handing out flyers. So yesterday was a really quiet day. Now, after I came back with the drone, I didn't do a live at that point. I just was talking with the other protesters, and we did. I had one of the parents of a Columbia student come up. And he had asked me, hey, why are you doing here? What are you doing here? It looks kind of foolish. I mean, it sucked on opening day. I don't like that they prey on college kids, but aren't you bringing more attention to this if you protest? And quite honestly, the answer is yes, we are bringing more attention to it, and we want to bring more attention to it. Sorry about that. Good morning, Fuzzy. Good morning, Ellie. We do want to bring more attention to it. There's a couple of pallets here, so something got delivered recently. We do want more attention here. Yesterday, I saw a streamer talk about these. These cameras are from Columbia. They're 100% Columbia's cameras. Scientology did not install them. These cameras came in right after the protests in 2020 on the George Floyd murder. There was an awful lot of vandalism. A lot of the storefronts and the glass was broken on the street level in this community. Those are in no way tied to the Church of Scientology cameras. So anyhow, the parent also told me that he said the dean of students has assured them that nobody from the church is allowed in. And I was able to show him that they've already got students here that are in that building. And I showed him the pink-haired girl who we've seen a couple of times since. How you doing, Pocono? Good to have you in here. So it's important that we're here. He had mentioned that, look, the shades are down, the door's closed. I said, yeah, if you watch, the shades come down and the door's closed the moment we arrive. And as soon as they think the coast is clear, they're going to raise those back up. So just kind of a point of view, and I understand that we're putting pressure on the college students because their lives are on tape all the time. But one of the things that I think that you've seen me do, and I'm asking other protesters to do the same thing, hey, lift your camera up when college students are going by. We don't really need to see community members on TV. That's not part of our protest. Howdy, Dee. Seeing some people coming out of the college. I have shown in the past, just going back to those cameras, I've shown in the past that in 2019, the cameras were not there, and in 2020, the cameras were there. Now, the church has owned the building since 2007, so you could make the argument that says, oh, the church had them installed. No. The church was having no activity down here. There was no renovation going on at that point in time. So that was not something that I think would be even reasonable that the church had any play in that. Door is open today. See if we have any security. Doesn't look like we have security today. As I look in, we've got one of the custodians actually 2 custodians back there. So 2 custodian people. We've got, what, 5 people here at the front. Somebody's watching a video right here. So this is interesting, right? We're watching the staff member work with the person who's doing the course, right? Or not course, watching a video. So this is an indoctrination. So how you doing? Always wave to the kind folks. We do have the blinds coming down. But hopefully, I don't know, we get a lot of glare here. Thanks, Ellie. I'm so happy for that too. I think it gives people a better way to anonymously or to be able to support the channel and not have to give me any financial information. I'm not sure, but could you see through the reflection that there was a black female sitting in a chair, had a trifold pamphlet opened, looking at the screen, and then we saw the staff member kind of pointing to the screen. So I'm pretty sure the staff member is only allowed to hit the play button on that process. Yeah, and I want to talk, thanks for that as well, Ellie. I do want to talk about this, right? My goal is not to become infinitely wealthy here. This is just for people that if you want to support me and give me a little bit of a more steady amount of money that I can kind of plan on, and that way I can understand how much I should budget towards, parking and supplies, camera equipment. That's very helpful. I have no intention of ever delaying videos or making the videos members only. So we do see the gentleman that always was worried about me following here. So he is passing out flyers. Just, he's trying to get you into a cult. It's the Church of Scientology. It's a money machine. So
I'm sorry, were you talking to me?
I was. So this is a cult. Just so you know, it's the Church of Scientology. You're going to go in, they're going to give you a personality test. They're going to tell you have these few flaws, and then they're going to sell you a book. And every time you come back here, they're going to sell you another book. All right, great. Don't give them your real name. Yep, thank you for that, Ellie, as well. And then I think I've got a link that's in my descriptions. So most of my video descriptions, at the top, I'll put a sentence about what I want that video to be about. The older security guard was right there. Howdy, Mrs. Bramlett. So she said, I want to buy a book. Or what if I want to buy a book? And it's like, I've given you the information I can. You get to choose what to do with that information. I do want to hang out a bit here, right? Because we did see the router go in. He did have a handful of flyers with him. I didn't actually notice which flyer it was today. Howdy, Heather. Yeah, I hope we're able to count it in minutes and not years. Thank you very much, Ellie. And I'll, if you could email that to me too, I'll update my descriptions. Howdy, Heather. So far today, we've come up. The blinds came down very quickly. We saw somebody sitting in a chair, right? Oh, and now the doors. Because cults always work best in shadows, right? We can't let the public know what we're doing in the cult. The couple that went by kind of giggled as I mentioned what was going on here. The custodian's probably going down to Subway. He tends to be a Subway guy at lunch. It's a cult, right? They're going to make you buy books. You're just going to keep on spending money. They protected Danny Masterson. They wouldn't let his victims come forward and tell the police that they had been sexually abused by him. For 20 years, the church wouldn't let these people come forward. He's in jail for 30 years, and he's still a member in good standing. That's the church that you want to belong to? Thank you, Ellie. I'm pretty sure that was the woman that was sitting down in this the first bay as we look back into the system or into the building. She does have a visitor tag. There is another member coming down the street. This member, I'm pretty sure, can only speak Spanish. We've seen him and his wife before. In just a moment, I will. I'll head up to the top of the street just to see if I can see anybody going out in the alley. Howdy, Miss Walters. Have a good day at the sector. Look, I'm bilingual. Beautiful day out here in Chicago, sunny, mid 60s. No real wind. So definitely enjoy that. This morning, I think we heard news on, well, I couldn't really tell what the news was, but apparently in Denver, the person that assaulted Jay didn't show up for court. I think the attorneys probably it was probably an arraignment hearing. So the attorneys just said, hey, we'll waive the arraignment or the reading of the charges. But I'm not sure really what else happened there. Kind of looking backwards real quick to make sure that nobody's coming out the front of the org. And for those of you that ask me, do the routers ever go off of this street, or why do I go that far off of this street? That router was not on Clark Street. So the victim that was just picked up was picked up away from the org and walked back to the org. And the person was not on Clark Street when they were handed the flyer. Nice. Thank you, Matthew. Yesterday, I think we had 6 of the Chicago protesters out here. Korn was out here. Nance Drew was out here. Juanita was out here. Juanita protests and doesn't really stream. Sometimes she'll stream. Hellgear was out here, and then we saw Israel, and there was another one out with Israel, another protester out with Israel. I put the drone up, and we were able to see a lot of the chalk that was there. Oh, you know what? Let's go back and examine the washing away of the chalk. So we did do chalk tech. Okay, so looks like Body Router might be going home for the day. Anytime you want out, let us know. We'll help. Yeah, so you can still see a little bit of the chalk is down here. This one was the Bridge to Total Freedom, or commentary about the Bridge to Total Freedom. They did much better cleaning over here. There was a cult sign there, right, that would have pointed to the building, and a cult sign over here that would have pointed to the building. I'm watching the person that left with the bag just to see that he is going towards the train. Yeah, he went towards the train and not over to the next block. So this is interesting. Oh, it's already after 2 o'clock, so maybe they've already got that resolved. But there was street cleaning here today, so you couldn't be parking here until prior to 2 o'clock. And by the way, that's the way the city does this. Certain neighborhoods just have a monthly day, but what really happens is usually they come by one day early on these in this central district, and they'll come by one day early and they'll put a bunch of signs up to let you know not to park because they're going to have the street cleaners in the next day, and then the street cleaners will come that day to kind of just pick up all the trash that gets stuck in the gutters and stuff. That's excellent news. Yeah, and this doesn't surprise me at all. And I kind of heard Mexican Longhair talking in the car that, you know, there was almost a 0% chance that he was going to be there, that he probably would be out of jurisdiction. And the church, again, the church effectively and actively commits crimes. It is illegal for them to harbor this fugitive and to get him out of the jurisdiction. Now, they'll claim they didn't know anything, and I'm sure there's no money that's going to tie it back to there, but that in and of itself is a crime. So the cult of Scientology does commit crimes today, right? This isn't, oh, darn, they used to do stuff like that, but they don't do that anymore. Yeah, that's very likely. I mean, it's silly for an attorney to risk a license for that, and especially for this particular crime. I can see down to the org, nobody leaving there. I'm going to see if there's anybody over on Dearborn Street, because remember, we saw the older, thin black male body router bring somebody to the org. Yeah, I saw that one coming. Oh, but I also have a good video of all the protesters waving up to the drone. So protesters are out in force. The church was really quiet yesterday. We didn't see routers. We didn't see a lot of people going in and out. Didn't see a lot of public. Didn't really see shift changes. The first one here was Helgier, and she got the blinds down. The blinds never went back up. The doors never came open. It is really a nice day out here in Chicago. Just really scan in both directions real quick. Not seeing anything here. We'll go to State Street and then we'll go back down to Polk and come back to the org. Hello, no one. How are you? I'm going to give you a chat or a call after the chat today. Got some information about Tori. There was nobody on Plymouth Court, but that makes sense. That's more. It is a road, but it's treated more like an alley. It's the backside of most buildings. There are very few entrances on that street. And I saw the commentary on Janice and is it Mark Fisher? Had already reached out and interviewed one of the people you pointed me towards. So, sorry, I'm just kind of looking forwards and backwards on State Street. This is interesting. So there's 4 police walking south on State Street up here. Not sure if you see that, but there's 4 police walking south. You just saw the K9 units. So these are contracted by CTA. They're not police, but they're typically working security in the CTA. So if there is a call about somebody being troublesome on a train, usually they'll go down to the platform and solve the problem. If the person has to be taken away or moved off the train, they'll help with that. Oh, that's awesome. Can I tap that? Thank you so much, Jay. Oh, how do I tap that? Oh, there it is. You're the first. I'll always remember that. So those are students coming out of Jones College Prep. Remember, these are high school age students. The officers, well, again, the security guards that just came out of the station, right? So actionk9security.com. They're good guys, right? So usually the biggest problem that's happening on a train is a person under the influence, whether it be drugs or alcohol, is just being a jackalope, or smoking, and every once in a while there'll be a fist fight down there. But that usually starts from some jackalope who's under the influence, just starting an argument. Yesterday, we would have seen Declared Dave Loves Suppressive Sherry do a follow-up on the Lisa McPherson, talking about so the first one was mostly about Lisa McPherson and what she went through in those final days. This one was more about the people involved. So the people that took her to the hospital, the doctor, Dr. Minkoff, who was in there, right? And then it's so strange that these worlds are colliding, because I don't know. I assume it's Minkoff's wife. That it might be a daughter, but I assume it's Minkoff's wife that is the potential new person on. I want to say Desperate Housewives, but it's not that. It's Real Lives of whatever that reality show is. So no routers. Let's get back to the org. We may have missed the person coming out. No idea if she took me seriously when I said, please don't give them your name or your real information. All right, J-Bat. And I have a tendency usually to use the first syllable or first name of some of the long handles. I need to get better at that. I should be more respectful of the people that put their names in there. It's just hard for me to keep a good eye on the chat as well as what's going on out here on the street. So, thank you, no one. I appreciate that. It's so awesome to have the support of the group. And I still love so much that I see the same names in here so often. And that is some indicator that what we're doing here is correct. Going past Roots, they're starting to get ready for their summer sidewalk season. They usually have maybe 6 tables out there. Last night, Louis was on the channel with Dave. It's always fun when no one's on there, when Patrick Skinner's on there, because they're just such a wealth of information. And, I really enjoy Dave because I think he's studied so well as a never-in on this. But as a never-in, he just doesn't have some of the knowledge that the X's do. And it's really kind of a pleasure watching them just have a great conversation back and forth in that space. Oh. This is a staff member in the white shirt. Wonder if this is day shift, foundation shift, and I know it's day org, foundation org, change over time. I'm going to put you up in the air a little bit. We've got a lot of people walking down the sidewalk. A crowd there at All Star Seafood smoking their cigars. Whoop. Out of your war. So today, as we approached the org, doors were open, windows, blinds were up. There was somebody in there sitting at the video screen, and a staff member was kind of hitting the play button for them. And then they closed the blinds, so I could no longer see that. Thank you for picking that up. No response. Then we saw a router. We've seen the router before. It's the router that he would tell other people that were passersby that I was following him. And then I would interact with those people and let them know why I was following him. He came back to the org with somebody as well. And I tried to explain to her that, hey, this is a cult and that they're going to give you a personality test and they're going to find some flaws in your life. I know they're called ruins, but I don't know that a bystander would understand ruins. They're going to tell you some flaw, and they've got a book that'll help you resolve that. And you're going to end up buying a book. And she goes, well, what if I want to buy a book? It's like, oh, I can't help you. Thank you. Real Housewives. Yeah, my understanding is not that Reddit isn't always stirring up stuff, but the Reddit world was already fired up on this. Hey, no one, isn't cleanliness something that's really important in Scientology? Like, you've got to do your room every day. You've got to be well appointed. And why are they not getting in trouble with the dirty windows that are here? This streak has been here for, I don't know, and it's just bird dung. This streak has been here for at least 4 weeks now. Windy standards are far lower. That doesn't really bother me. It just bothers me that that the most ethical people in the world can't even abide by their own standards of cleanliness. No idea if our friend came out or not. Yeah, that's something that I think is really interesting. The idea of those the white glove checks, and then also the the contraband checks that were always going on. So if watching any prison movie, they'll go through a jail cell once a month, or if there's some rumor that somebody's got contraband. I felt like the way that it's being expressed is in Sea Org, your room is searched for contraband on a daily basis, and if you're somebody who they're really worried about, it might even be hourly basis. That's a good point. You know what? I am going to ask him that. Howdy, kid. Howdy, out here. You know that's a cult, right? It's the cult of Scientology.
Yeah, I got that same thing. You should teach that either. We all good.
Why are you subjecting your children to this? I'm going to run around back real quick. Oh, wait. Now there's another buggy coming up. I want to see if this is another family that's coming in. This looks like a 1950s stroller coming down the street. Oh, they're going into the college. Just going to stroll up to see if we can get a view down the alley. Don't have much time here this afternoon. Took a late lunch. We did catch a body router. It looked like then he went home for the day. So he got his travel bag and headed to the train. When he brought his victim back to the org, he had the handful of flyers still in his hand, and that was noticeable. Now, Jehovah's Witness is out quite a bit at train stations and coffee shops. So they'll be at bus stops, they'll be at CTA stops with their stand of flyers. Oh, the custodian just put some garbage in the garbage can. He's walking back, hiking up his pants. As soon as he goes in, I'll head down there because he did not lock the garbage can. Yeah, that's a cruel joke. That's like, it's one of those mean things you do to a college roommate as a prank and don't realize how serious it is that they'll never be able to get off that list. So, all right, I'm going to kind of push him back in. He's saying, I think he's got a cigarette that he's trying to finish up. As I get close, yeah, he'll go in. I really didn't want him to see that I was coming down here, just in case they were going to relock the garbage can. But I also didn't see what he threw out, but we'll see that quickly. Now, one of the things I'll say is much different about Jehovah's Witnesses is they'll stand out there with their rack of, they usually have 8x10 pamphlets or booklets. They'll stand out there very passively and wait till people approach them. They're not pushing their information. They're allowing people to pull their information. Howdy, Mail. Great to see you. I'm sorry, Up Mail. Great to see you. Welcome in. That's a new name. So you might have been here before, but I'm just seeing that name for the first time or remembering that name for the first time. Yesterday, these trash cans were pretty, overflowing, these first couple. We're now going to see the Scientology one. So they did just come down here and throw something in here. It looks like it's just plastic wrap. So remember, we saw 2 pallets that sitting at the back door. They were probably shrink wrapped. It was books or something in boxes. You can see the chains. So the chain is locked, but it's ineffective, right? Because it's not locked to anything. And then I still love that we've got the SPTV Foundation is still on the side of the dumpster. Yeah, I 100% agree that, that there had to have been some form of punishment when that hit Aaron's channel. And hey, SRA, how you doing? There had to have been some form of punishment that occurred, and I'm sure that nobody wants to incur that wrath again. It was embarrassing, right? The idea that that all of that was found, and it was out ethics. So they weren't, their TRs were out, right? That training should have told them that that is not how you. They have removed one of these, so this is still on the post. This parking bumper still has the survivors list on there. So somebody has removed There used to be a survivors list on this post as well. Out security, I guess. Yeah, thank you. No one. That those should have never been able to come out the door without having been shredded. And the idea that it was so unprotected got them in a great deal of trouble. And they're, if I was one of the people whose social security numbers were in there, I would definitely file a complaint that the church leaked their information. So just to recap, we came up, the blinds were up, there was a new person sitting in the chair at the very first video console, and a staff member was hitting the play button. The person had a trifold pamphlet in their hand. I'm just going up to keep the civilians off the camera. The person had a trifold pamphlet in their hand, and when they later came out, they had a barcoded sticker that showed they were a visitor. How are you today? Excellent. I didn't hear that.
Happy face off.
Nice. Yes.
This could actually go and grab a few things, but believe it or not, I don't have to stay in the Scientology infested rat nest anymore.
Nice.
Or not anymore, but for tonight. Because I'm spending the night at a cousin's house in Tallahassee.
Awesome.
How are you doing today?
Doing very well.
Heck yeah. Anything interesting happening?
So far, we've seen a body router bring somebody in and a family go in there with their child,
Oh my
which was
god.
always
That makes me want
sickening.
to start crying. And maybe vomiting.
I had a conversation with one of the students' fathers last night, and there was, still this. I know that we're pressuring the college students, right? You have to live your life on camera when we're out there. I've been pretty sensitive to keeping my camera up whenever they're coming by.
I mean, it's pros and cons.
Right.
I mean, I'd rather that than the Scientologists go unchecked,
He had
I
mentioned
think
that,
we're all
hey,
willing to give that
right,
up.
the blinds are down. And they go, yeah, the blinds are down because we're here. As soon as we walk away, the blinds go straight back up. Right?
It definitely makes me feel a little safer when the blinds are down, though.
Yep.
I gotta run.
You have a great day. Yep.
Have a good day.
Take care.
Always good to see you.
Thank you. So that person, again, I'm not trying to be insensitive. She's told us before what she has a neuromuscular debilitating mechanism, and she really struggled on the day of opening. Somebody's at the top of the stairs down to the basement. That might be Jessica. Oh, and last night there was some talk. Yeah, it is Jessica. There was chat about on Tori's channel that are the gold vests Sea Org, and I still maintain that they're actually just staff. So the gold vest is staff, and the reason I say that is that Jessica had a post on TikTok on, like, I'll say December 23rd, something, December 29th, somewhere of that nature, where she had mentioned that she had just joined staff. So she's a staff person, not a Sea Org person, and right, we're always seeing her in that vest. She will sometimes have the jacket on over it, but for the most part, she's got the vest. Yeah, that is really fun to watch Trashy and SRA come down here and kind of tag team the org. And also, I have my second mic, but I didn't think to pull it out. And I don't like to really put pressure on the college students. Hopefully you heard some of what she was saying as we walked up here. Just a reminder that JBat will always be my first. I really appreciate that. Thanks so much. And no one followed right behind. Truly appreciate that. Now we'll see if we can keep on bumping up the content. I think this evening I'm going to edit the drone footage. So the drone footage I can't do live. Um, I might be able to figure out a way where I could actually have my phone record the controller's screen. But I'd rather do it, I have to pay attention to the drone when you've got that up there. You're a pilot in charge. Um, so it's important that you're watching the aircraft when that's going on. I did see people in the upper windows. So I saw somebody in a dark outfit at a computer screen, and then I saw somebody in gold. I'm going to walk across the street for just a second. Oh, somebody's going to be sad here. So I talked to you earlier about the street sweepers. You can see a little boot on that. The Denver boot on that red car, and that's because he was probably here when the street sweepers came by. But if we look up here, you've got, there's an open window a floor and a half above the S with the ARCKS triangles in it. And there was somebody in a gold uniform walking through there when I had the drone up there. I'll try to slow down that video when I get a chance. But again, I've still got to go edit that, and I'll put something up on that. The other fun part of that was that we got to see all of the protesters out here on the sidewalk. And there was 6 or 7 of us out that day. All right. I've got to get ready for a client meeting. So I think we're going to go ahead and leave the org. Just looking backwards, see if I see anything, nothing going on there. But I'm going to go ahead and shut down this live. I'll ask if the mods can find any lives. By the way, sptv.space is a very helpful site. Not only it's in collaboration with Fluffer Squirrel UK, but they are now showing the database on that website. And the top section of that is always going to show you who's live right now. So, excellent. Now, I will say, I love Natalie. She already has a good following. If there's somebody who could use the help, I would love for it. But if Natalie's the only one live, let's go push everybody over to Natalie. I'll go past the alley one more time. No activity down there. Yeah, let me. Let's see if we can get Carrie Ann some love. Let me see if I can find her. I've got just stopped right next to a bus running right now. I'm going to try to bring up the SPTV channel so I can get the link real quick. All right. So that's Carrie Ann's. Please go over and raid Carrie Ann. Let her know we sent you over from Windy City. I really appreciate everybody's time today. And thank you so much for those super chats and super stickers. Much appreciated.